Hey, what's up, everybody? I hope everyone's having a really good Wednesday so far. I have a topic I wanted to talk about, and that topic is one of the few reasons why I make videos in the first place is because of a woman named Kay. I had a conversation with somebody just last night, and he asked me, why do I make videos? Why do I bother with doing any of them? He thinks that they're kind of cringe. He says that opening too many emotions and putting them on public view is just too risky. He says that I'm giving too many enemies too much ammo on me. But then again, this is a guy who's about like 59 years old. He's seen a lot of stuff. He's been through a lot of stuff. I think he's angry because he went through a divorce some years ago, and he's bitter about that situation. And that's okay. I understand. I get it. But I think he's walked away from the idea of sharing things with anyone anymore. And that I'm truly sorry for. But the reason why I personally do videos and post them here and there on Facebook is because there's this one special person that came into my life for just a little tiny bit of time. And she was Kay, an older woman. I think she was like in her late 50s, early 60s, I believe. Anyways, I'll tell you the story. Back in 2020, this is when COVID was going on pretty nice and rough at that time. I worked in the meat department at Walmart here in Carlisle. And there was this one man who kept kind of coming in the meat section, would come up by and say hello, ask me how I'm doing, making small talk with me. I thought nothing of it. And then finally, he actually came up to me and he said, I just figured I would tell you something. I said, what is that? He said, you've given my wife so much joy and happiness over the past few weeks. It seems that, she told me you do videos. I said, yeah, I used to back in like last year. Why? He said, well, my wife is paralyzed from the waist down. She can't really do very much for herself. And for a little while, she had gotten into like a really bad rut of not doing anything and not really wanting to do very much of anything. It seemed like she kind of given up on life a whole lot. But for some reason, she started looking at some of your videos, and then she kind of changed a little bit, was a little bit more happier. She used to always just want to eat in her room, have me bring food to her bedroom, and that's about it. But then all of a sudden, after watching some of your videos, she wanted me to actually bring her to the kitchen to sit down at the dinner table, to get out. Would ask me to go ahead and take her outside to just observe, nature. She said she hadn't done anything like that in a very long time. And she just tells me so much about you, almost like I know you by this point, Chris. I said, oh. I said, well, that's really nice, sir. Tell her I said hello. All right. Then a couple days later, I was on lunch break, I believe. And I believe somebody from the service desk came up to me and said, hey, Chris, there's some guy that wants to talk to you. I told him I would go ahead and get you real quick. So I came on up to the front, and it was him again. It was Steve. That's what his name was, Steve. And he had me come on outside with him out into the parking lot. We talked a little bit. And he said, hey, my wife wanted me to give you something. I said, what is it? And he gave me this envelope. And I was just going to open it. He said, hey, how about this? Just don't open that until I leave. How about that? I said, it isn't anything to do with money, right? He said, no. He said, just open it once I leave. So, okay. So he went ahead and took on off. He got on his motorcycle and left. I waited a little bit. In fact, I went ahead and started my shift back up after my lunch. Went into the meat cooler. And I decided to just get curious and open it. And the note was a really nice handwritten note from Kay herself. It was long too. A very sweet, thoughtful note telling me thank you, basically, for giving her a bit of motivation to get excited about life again. That was really sweet. And along with that, she had her number, and she said she wanted me to give her a call once I got off work. But alongside this, this note was $300 inside this envelope. I'm like, what? I cannot accept this. This is way too much. What? I was shocked. My mouth was like, ugh. But I waited until I got off work, and I gave her a call. And I said, hi. I said, I thank you so much for being touched by my videos, but I can't accept that money. I said, as soon as I see your husband again, I'm going to give it back to him. She said, no, I want you to keep it, Chris, because you need to know that you should keep doing what you do. And I want you to know that there are people that get touched by your stuff. That's why I gave you that. She said, do something nice for yourself, Chris. Spend it on anything you want, just for you. I said, are you absolutely sure, ma'am? I can give it right back to him. She said, no, I will not accept it. She said, but would you be okay with talking with me? No, each night. If you don't have anything else going on after work. I said, sure. So for the next several weeks, we would talk on the phone after work, and we would talk about many different things. Her past traumas, her hopes and her dreams for her daughter, her hopes and dreams for her husband. She talked about death a whole lot of times too. She always said she was going to pass away pretty soon. Always said that. And that she hoped that her husband could move on very fast once she does pass. I would tell her, don't think that way. But I guess she knew something. Anyways, over the next several weeks, she would constantly bring up the idea of me doing videos again, because at that point, it had been about a good smooth year of me not doing anything on Facebook at all. In fact, I had deactivated my profile because I had seen some things in I would say in 2019 that I just did not like, and I decided just to get off of Facebook, so that way I wouldn't be tempted to go back and relive traumas. I didn't want to do that anymore. But you see, Kay constantly said, Chris, how about you make another video again? How about making just one more? What do you think? I said, I just don't want to do that, but Kay, because it seems like I'm doing a bunch of ranting at that time. I said, I made those videos that you like so much from a very hurt place. It wasn't really coming from a really good place or state of mind at that time. And I just feel guilty to put other people through that, to see that. And then she corrected me and said, Chris, not all your videos were actually rants. A lot of them were very insightful and sweet. She said, you have to give yourself more credit than what you're doing. She said, you have a very good talent of helping people to feel better about themselves or to feel better about their situations like you did me. She said, I just only wanted to stay in my room and just be depressed because I can't walk that much anymore. I can't do anything very much anymore like I used to. But seeing you talk just made me want to do something again. And then I thought about it. I was contemplating it, but I believe it was either in November or December of 2020, I believe it was. Kay actually suffered a brain aneurysm, and I think in less than 18 hours after she had it, she died. So it came all of a sudden. It was a big surprise, that's for sure. It was very sad. And I thought about her. I said, it's a shame. I really hate to see such a sweet person go away like that. And I never did get a chance to do a video while she was alive. But I just, paid my respects. I talked to her husband as long as I possibly could. And then he eventually went on. He went on about his life. And that was fine. I believe he did move on, though. I think he did find someone else. I think he started another family of some kind. I think he did. Anyways, the last time I saw him, he seemed to be very happy and content. And that's precisely what Kay wanted for him anyways. So it's all good. It works. But fast forward to, I believe it was like December of 2022, I had a really lousy night at work. And this is when I was working at Martin Brower at that time. I had left Walmart in 2021. At the end of 2021, I came to Martin Brower to work for a while as a yard jockey. And I had a really rough night one of those nights, I believe. I think so. I think that's how it happened. But anyways, in December of 2022, I remember just sitting back and thinking about a lot of the losses that I've had over the years. Missing my grandma, missing my dad, missing my mom, missing all of them. And then all of a sudden, Kay popped into my mind as well, too. And I thought about her encouragement of trying to get me to make videos again, trying to get me to express myself yet again on Facebook. So I said, you know what? Bet. I said, I'll make a topic about losses or, overcoming losses. How about that? I'll just do something like that and see how that goes. So I got up, kind of reactivated Facebook again and made the video. And I got a very good, overwhelming response too. A lot of people really did connect to that. Some people that connected to it had just suffered a loss with family members, and they looked at that and they kind of gave them some type of comfort. Just like Kay was telling me that the videos can help people at times. So I started doing them over and over here and there, thinking about different topics. And I'm doing that still today. I'm doing that right now as we speak. So that's why I do videos. It's not just for my own gratification. It's not for an ego boost. It's really because I'm just paying it forward to society is what I think of it like. Because I really do enjoy socialness. I enjoy helping somebody get up in the morning and want to start their day. I enjoy getting up for myself too and living and putting on a good show for my mom, grandma, my dad, all of that. It means a lot to me. So that goes into another idea too. If someone tries to make you feel bad or sad about something that you do that you're passionate about, don't pay them no attention. They're probably just angry because they can't do that like you do. They can't do it like you do. Probably so. Or they're just simply bitter and angry about life. And that's all right too. We all get bitter and angry. But just don't let anybody stifle you. Keep moving forward. Keep striving. Keep doing what you do that makes you happy. That's all I ask. All right? I know that was a long video. I'm so sorry. But I just wanted to get my point across, okay? All right. So I hope everyone has a really good night and just enjoy your night. Bye-bye.